Let's get into it, party people. Let's get into it. I am Todd Tremonti. We've got a full studio today for DFW Real Estate Weekly, live on WBAP as well as all your podcast channels. Are rates coming down? We'll talk about that. Are mortgage rates more favorable than they have been? Is the market, is the window of opportunity in the 2024 market closing? Maybe. We'll talk about it. Those aren't just teasers. Those are real questions that the answers aren't the same for everybody. We are in a market that is really many markets. And depending on you and your situation, this might be one of the smartest times to buy or sell, or a very dangerous time to buy or sell. So we'll get into the details of that as we make our way through the show. And if you want to get into the details of your unique situation, whether you're buying, selling, investing, enjoying your home, or worried about the cost going up, whatever your situation is, it doesn't have to be about buying and selling now. All you need to do is call or text 214-310-0008. That's 214-310-0008. And you can reach out to the Todd Tremonti Home Selling Team. You can also go to toddtremontiteam.com anytime, day or night, no matter where you are, and there are countless resources there. You can take a quiz online without having to talk to anybody and find out how ready you are to buy or sell or move to Texas or invest or whatever the case is. You can find out what your home would sell for or rent for right now in under a minute. You could actually request a cash offer in about a minute and a half. You can track your equity. You can search every home on the market by every agent in DFW, as well as accessing years and years and years of past radio shows and podcast episodes and educational YouTube videos and on and on and on. And all that is online at
ToddTremontiTeam.com.
This first segment, as always, is brought to you by Patrick Gleros and his team at Cardinal Financial. If you are looking to get a mortgage, refinance, or if you just have questions about what's going on in the world of mortgages, lending, interest rates, reach out to Patrick. You can go to patrickgleros.com, patrickgleros.com, Glaros. You can give him a call, 972-728-3420, MLS number 308804.
Just this week, we had a client using a pretty reputable national lender, and things got a little hairy on a transaction. They called Patrick, and same day he was able to get them rocking and rolling with a pre-approval letter and get an offer accepted that was more attractive to the seller. So shout out to Patrick Gleros, patrickgleros.com.
All right, so school is out, Todd.
My kids have been out.
Everybody's out.
Yep, it's a party.
My kids finished this week.
It's a party.
What does it mean? Like, how does that impact the summer market? Is this kind of the season that everybody looks forward to where it's like, oh, I'm going to do things once school's out? Like, Are we going to see like massive spikes of homes on the market, buyers coming out of the woodwork? What are we going to see?
Yes, no, no.
Okay.
I think I got them all.
Okay.
Here's the general idea. The stereotype, which is, kind of based on averages, numbers, what most people do is, yes, they wait until summer to make their buying and selling decisions. That's not true of everyone. Most, maybe slightly more than half. And that's a mindset thing. All that to say, when people do this, they wait until the last, week of May, let's just say, to make real estate decisions. And when they talk to a true professional, like someone at the Todd Tremonti Home Selling Team, what they find out, and you know this, Ian, is that summer isn't as long as people think.
That's accurate.
Especially from a real estate perspective, when we typically have a 30 to 45-day lag between deciding to do something and being able to formally, officially get it done. If we decide to buy, we have time to get things in order, go shop, make offers, get them accepted, get inspections, get things checked out, move, and get settled. That doesn't happen overnight. 30 to 45 days is the average range, but it could certainly be as short as, say, 3 weeks and as long as, years. The reality is when people start to make this decision late May, early June, they realize the decision they're wanting to make will be finalized and enacted probably in very late July, if not early to mid-August, which is when school goes back for a lot of people.
Right.
So this isn't, I'm not saying this to scare you. We can still totally get something done, but there's not a lot of time to play with. So we have these grand hopes and dreams for all the things we want to do over the course of the summer. This is one of the ones that can't really wait. If you want to buy or sell before kids go back to school or just generally during this season, that's a conversation ideally that you already started.
And so you should have probably had that 6 weeks ago.
But if not, don't panic. You just don't have a lot of time to put it off. So that's a conversation we should have this week. Call the office, 214-310-0008, or you can text 214-310-0008. Or if you want to just Google us, just Google Todd Tremonte. You'll find us, Tramonte. But even if you spell it wrong, you'll find us. There's plenty of stuff out there. Or ToddTremonteTeam.com. Whatever you're comfortable with, whatever your preferred method of communication is. But you do need to be speaking live with one of our team members, a human being, really in the next week or so. Doesn't mean you have to get started, but you need to have an idea, get answers to your questions, understand the market, get a feeling for timing on achieving your goals. That is if you want to buy or sell or invest, before September, right? If you have a slightly longer timeline, you should still make that call now, just so you have a better plan and more time to approach this in a healthy way without having to be really aggressive and impulsive. So hopefully that answers the question. That's my answer always, is that you cannot start this conversation too early, but sadly most, and I mean like 90% of people, do start this conversation too late. That doesn't mean we can't help them. It just means they don't have quite as many options, and they can't do it quite as calmly and safely and, responsibly. The later you wait, the more erratic things are, the fewer choices you have, and the quicker, we need to churn these things out.
Our Summer Fun Guide has been getting some awesome feedback this year, and we want to give you the opportunity to get one if you haven't already got one. You can go to one of two ways. You can go to our website, ToddTremonteTeam.com. At the very top of there's going to be a banner. Just click on it, fill in your info, and we'll get one sent out to you. Or you can send us a text. Just say Summer Fun Guy, text it to 214-310-0008. 214-310-0008. Summer Fun Guide. We will get you one.
And we can get you a physical copy or a digital copy, whatever you want. So it's totally up to you. If you want to text us, we're going to need an address, and then we'll send it to you. If you just want a digital copy, we'll send you an email. I recommend the physical copy. It is intended to be on your coffee table, your kitchen counter, or in your purse or whatever most of the summer. There's such good stuff in there.
It's like a glossy magazine, right?
It's
like
beautiful.
a really high quality glossy magazine, 30-ish pages, something like that.
Full of
stuff to do.
Legitimate stuff. There's like one page, half a page that's not even really an ad. It's just like our contact info. There's no other advertisers in there. Every single page is a map of things to do or a description of something to do,
places to go, restaurants to try, ice cream spots, all sorts of things.
And it's not the obvious things. These are like the favorite opinions of our real estate team, who are introducing people to the best things about our communities all year long. It's free. We are doing this as a generous act of like, hey, enjoy where we live more this summer. Hopefully you get a chance to travel. While you're here, though, enjoy our place. And then in there, producer Courtney, full price Courtney, Triple C Courtney, has given you more than one ways to have your very best day, hint, hint, all the best days, in another city, one nearby and one not so nearby, to really enjoy eating and playing and enjoying a really great day someplace other than DFW. So check out the Summer Fun Guide. Just go to ToddTremonteTeam.com. Across the top, you can request a Summer Fun Guide, or you can text right now, 214-310-0008. Just text Summer Fun Guide or the word guide or SFG. We'll get the message. 214-310-0008.
It's about DP Lambert and Goosehead Insurance. If you have not shopped your home insurance recently, your auto insurance recently, those things are going up. That's not breaking news.
My father-in-law called me this week, okay?
Going up.
Now listen, when your phone rings from your father-in-law, it should be a good thing, but sometimes it's like, oh boy, straighten up. And he says to me, I got obliterated by my insurance company this year. I think I'm finally ready to call your guy. Right. So I'm like, great, DP, here's his info. And I also text DP and I said, hey, expect a call from my father-in-law. Let me know if you don't get a call and I'll connect you guys. And his next reply the next day, saved your father-in-law a few $100s. Thanks again for sending over the family. Right. So by the time I know they've talked, he's already done the entire thing and saved him a few $100, where the other one was going up over $1,000. So if you wanted to manipulate that, you could say he saved him, 1,000, whatever that he was going to have to go up plus what he saved. So he went down a few hundred instead of going up over 1,000. All that to say,
he just did the same thing for me too. Man was going to go up like almost $1,500, and he's got it lower than what he was paying before. So that's what DP does. That's what his whole team does. Reach out to him, 214-614-8595. dp.lambert, LAMBERT at goosehead.com, or just head over to toddtremoneyteam.com, click on the radio tab, and you will find all of our recommended pros and vendors. Okay, I have a very exciting top 10 list for you, Todd.
ooh,
We're going to play a game with it.
New one, all right.
Okay, the top 10 regrets of home buyers
No regrets.
who bought their home in 2023 or 2024. Okay, what I'm going to have you do some guessing on it. What do you think is going to be on this list? There's 10 possible answers. We're not going to do all 10. I'll read them at the end, but...
I mean, there's going to be something on there about payment and just the cost that somebody took on. I don't know how that will be worded on a top 10 list.
I feel like we're playing, what's the game? With the Family Feud.
Okay.
Cool.
Is it on the board?
Yeah.
How many people said it? Listen, don't give me crickets. You...
Okay. So
It's
what was
for
Am I
your...
sure.
supposed to, keep guessing all 10?
I would like more than one
Oh.
to play the game.
Something's
Yes,
going to be
I spent
payment.
too
or
much.
Yeah,
I spent too much. Let me
Payment,
see.
cost.
Let me see. The board says...
Well,
I-
there's no possible way. There's not some reference to that on that board.
The board,
I-
it is absolutely on the board.
not
It's
on
a
the board.
ding,
But
ding,
you
ding.
have to understand that
It's
Ian,
number 3,
Ian
Joker.
fights so hard to never.
Oh, I spent too much. Yeah,
affirm.
number 3. Ding!
Gosh, he wants you to be a loser.
See what I'm dealing with over here?
Listen, I'm dealing
Give me
with
another
it
one.
too.
What else you got?
Basically got pressured into buying something I didn't love.
That is number 5 on the board. My
Wow.
agent pressured me to make an offer. 21%.
Yep.
Okay.
Spent too much was number 3, by the way.
Yep.
That's what I
It's almost
said.
almost like near the top. Almost.
Give me
Okay.
another one.
Okay, 23 and 24. That's what this
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
Okay. Pressure to buy is kind of near this, but like didn't have a lot of choices.
No. All right, we're just going to run through the list.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't like my home comes in at number 10.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. Is
Of
like I
course
didn't.
it was.
Well, no, I had to pick something, but there wasn't anything that I loved. Is what
what
I
he
just
said.
said.
I was just about to say it.
No, I did say it, to be clear. By the way, if you guys think that Ian's a dirtbag when it comes to any of these questions, just text us dirtbag to 214-310-0008. You can hyphenate it. You can make it one word or two
All
words.
caps.
Just text the word dirtbag to 214-310-0008. He'll get them, and then he won't tell us that you texted him, so we'll never know that you agreed with us that this is the least fair setup of all time. Back to
Number
you.
9.
Number 9, I bought sight unseen.
Okay, that's your own fault.
Number 8.
All due respect to everyone, you shouldn't be complaining to anyone else. Not that that can't go well, but you have to be very cautious with that. I'll stop giving you response.
Number 8, I bought a fixer-upper.
No, I like the feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, why?
What's wrong with buying a fixer-upper?
I think people don't understand the project they're taking
Can we
on.
just
17%.
Can we just say I'm probably going to want to make the following comment after all of them.
I want you to.
It is a buyer's responsibility to know what you're doing. By all means, there are responsibilities of the agent and the lender and title and all inspector and all these people. But if you're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars or more on a home, you need to take a deep breath and evaluate some of these things on your own. You can't-
Well, I thought it was a good conversation to say that this won't happen with us.
Well, it won't. It shouldn't. I'm not going to say we never have a buyer that
won't.
rushes their side of the deal, or that we don't miss something.
Things go perfectly.
But the reality is we rarely ever have these kind of feedback. But post COVID, we had people that were like, okay, you've told me what's going on, and I am still knowingly going to choose this house that I don't really love, but it's the only house I can get. And it's going to be good enough for a few years, and then hopefully we can get into something great. And that's happening right now. We have a lot of people that bought 2020, 2021. Like, I'm so glad I did. We don't love that house, but we've created $100,000 in equity.
we love our rate.
Yeah. Well, we love what it did for our family.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Anyway, go ahead.
Number 7, I don't like my home's location.
That's tough.
Yeah, I'm going to let that one go. Same things I just said on the other one. Sometimes that's okay. You're like, it's not perfect, but this was a good move for us. Other times it's like, well, then why'd you buy it?
Number 6, my agent pressured me to make an offer.
That's totally inappropriate. Not okay. If you ever feel pressured by, now you might feel that your agent was direct with you, which is what they should be. They should tell you the truth. But if you feel physically pressured, like I didn't want to buy and they kind of made me buy, that is not okay.
Okay, here you go. Top 5 regrets of home buyers who bought their homes in the last 2 years. Number 5, I bought too quickly.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, what does that look like? Like, just didn't think through the whole thing?
Maybe you know how we say all the time, you can't start too early, but you can
slow
start too
down
late.
before you speed up. Yep.
Started too late. Now they feel rushed and pressured into having to get something because their timeline has been shrunk down so much.
Yeah. Or what you said, I do think of people like you go out, you stumble into a model home or an open house one weekend, and then you just kind of get that train of thought rolling, and you kind of just you go really quickly, and then you realize, man, we should have taken a deep breath and evaluated. And to your point, that's what we do in the initial consultation. We call a free strategy session with people. Are you really ready for this? What's important to you about this? Are you, your family, and your finances ready? And oftentimes we come out of those strategy sessions and we say, great, looks like we should probably wait a year. Let's talk again in a few months and see if that's still the case. And it blows people's minds. It's actually a huge trust builder when people are like, wow, you guys genuinely cared about what was best for me. We just believe that's the best way to do business. We would rather help you decide not to buy or sell. Therefore, we do not earn a commission if it's what's best for your family, and we'll earn your business later because we did the right thing and we helped you protect your family. We've had a lot of that going on since really 2019.
David just shared a story this week. He has a client who he helped get into a rental home.
Yep.
Because in a year's time, they're going to be ready to buy. And the actual owner of the rental property was like...
Don't say where.
Well, I'm not going to. I wouldn't ever do that.
I didn't think you would.
It was like, why are they renting? Like, they're like too qualified to be renting this home.
He basically was like,
he's like, they're just being really careful. One of them's not working right now. They just had a kiddo, so they're going to take their time and they're going to buy in a year. And he's just like, okay,
and
cool.
The landlord was like, wow, you know what? I can't believe the realtor is helping them do that and that they're thinking so wisely and critically about it. And that's not always best for people, but if it is, that's what we're going to help you do. Sorry.
Number
back to the
4,
list.
my interest rate was too high.
Yeah. Me too.
Number 3,
Sorry.
I spent too much.
Well, and that is back to Ian's point, or the point we're always making, is that's why you need to sit down early and think critically and not, don't be the little bitty kid in the checkout line at the grocery store where there's just candy staring at you and you want it, and you want it right now and you have to have it and you can't get it off your mind and you're overly emotionalized. If you can plan ahead, hey, before we fall in love with a home, what are the boundaries? How are we going to help each other make wise choices? And this is where the value of an excellent agent is unseen by many buyers. Mm-hmm. And they think what an agent does that helps me is finds me the houses or gets me in the door or fills out the paperwork. And certainly those things happen, but those are so far down, like near the bottom of the list of the most valuable things an agent can do. An agent can help counsel you through this and understand what you really want and help you say no in some of those situations. Hey, remember when we initially talked? This price, we could get you the house at this price, but it might be a budget challenge later. Maybe we don't need to do this.
Number 2, my home does not meet all my needs.
Well, I would say that's on the list in almost every market all the time because there is no such thing as a perfect home. But we should be checking off the list of all the important, critical, essential, non-negotiable needs.
And the number 1 regret of home buyers who bought their homes in 2023 or 2024 is my home requires too much maintenance.
That is a common response, and I'm going to be careful how I say this, but of younger home buyers, right?
Well, I think people feel like that they didn't disclose everything about the house.
Yeah. Which is rarely true. Sometimes that happens, obviously, but it's rarely true. It's just that, again, people don't understand the complexity of
owning a home.
It's not even just owning a home. The process of buying, of owning, of selling, which is why you need a professional. Clearly, we're biased. Todd Tremonti Home Selling Team, ToddTremontiTeam.com. But I think we are appropriately biased, right? If your philosophy is when things require specialization and expertise, I bring in an expert, then you understand that. Not just in real estate, taxes, legal, accounting, medical, travel sometimes. There's some travel, I just do that on my own. There's other travel that I'm like, no, I could really mess this up. I'm going to bring in somebody that does this all the time,
yes.
right? So it's in almost every area of life. Like when it comes to parenting, that is the responsibility of my wife and me. We've invited a few other families in our church and some people into that, but I am constantly seeking out experts because I'm like, man, every day is a new season of parenting. My kids are different ages. They're in different sports or different grades, right?
Yeah, I was going to say like buying a house feels like meeting your infant on the first day. Like, I'm going to have to get to know you and your quirks and the way that, like, eventually I know your cries and I know our rhythm, but it's just a brand new relationship and I don't know.
I got you
the
both
way it
covered. I'm
leaks.
an expert parent. Don't worry about
Okay,
it.
good.
Anything you need, just come to me and check. I got you.
Thank God.
Super Home Warranty. Let me tell you about them. If you need a home warranty, if you're thinking about getting a home warranty, if you just want to know what a home warranty is, head over to hellosuper.com. They have been fantastic for so many of our clients. Anytime we can get a home warranty, we are making sure it's with Super. They take care of all of our sellers as well before they go on the market, making sure if anything was to go wrong or needed to be fixed up before it went live, then they are there to help protect them and take care of all that stuff too. hellosuper.com.
They're doing exactly what Courtney just said, right? That when you get to know your property that first year, that warranty,
You want
from
that
Super
warranty.
is behind you to go, ooh, I didn't know about that. And they're like, nah, just pay the trip fee and we'll take care of it, right? For those in-between things that are not like a huge insurance claim or something that you're like, oh, I didn't realize that was kind of leaky or a little bit loose or that's acting kind of strange. Those basic systems, that's what that home warranty does. When you're getting to know that infant, you're getting to know that brand new house. But homeownership is a wonderful thing. There is a social media trend right now of being like, forget it. Just don't do it. Don't own. Don't take on. The cost and the investment is not what they've always said. Hear me now. For most people, that is a lie. That is not true. Homeownership has financial benefits, and it also has massive, and I would argue more than financial, huge lifestyle, cultural, familial benefits. Safety, security, wealth building, control of your own environment, stability, roots in the community. It also is a massive wealth builder. So all these I don't want to have to maintain something. I'm just going to be a forever renter. Go look at the research on forever renters versus homeowners on wealth building and family stability. It's not an opinion. Just go look at the data. If you disagree, then don't do it. If you see something that you want in your future, homeownership is almost always a big piece of that. Not required, but a big piece of a positive future.
If you have not checked your home valuation recently, I'd like to know why you've been ignoring us for the first 5 months of the year.
Fair question.
But you should go and do it. Head over to toddandmoneyteam.com. You can click the home valuation tab, and in less than 1 minute, it will give you an idea of what your home would sell for, rent for. It's going to give you an idea about getting cash offers, what your equity looks like, all sorts of information. It's a really great tool. Head over to toddandmoneyteam.com and click on that home valuation tab.
Good garage floors, absolutely phenomenal for coating, protecting, sealing, cleaning those garage floors, as well as any outdoor solid surfaces. They turned our old busted up concrete slab into a beautiful basketball pickleball area, goodgaragefloors.com. And I think it's stupid, pause for effect. I think it's stupid that kids in North Texas would ever miss a meal. Would you jump on Venmo and send a few bucks, whatever you can? We'll go buy a bunch of peanut butter and jelly and donate to local North Texas and Tarrant area food banks. At PBJ Drive on Venmo. At PBJ Drive on Venmo. Or you can go to pbjdrive.com, find our office locations, and drop off peanut butter at our offices. We're going to feed those hungry kids. June is a month where the food banks have massive demand and tend to lose inventory. They don't have quite enough on the shelf. So we're going to try to get as much as we can in the rest of May, get it over to them, and help feed hungry kids throughout the summer. At PBJ Drive on Venmo or pbjdrive.com. It is, in fact, peanut butter and jelly time. Hey, folks, it's the PBJ Drive. We do it every year. We invite you to make a difference, to partner with us in feeding North Texas area children that need food, period. End of statement. There are children in our community that are typically being fed breakfast and or lunch at school. And by the way, there are many others whose families or their situation for whatever reason is in or have become in a situation where food is not certain. If you've ever been in that situation and you have the ability to help someone out of it, or if you've never been in that situation and you could possibly imagine the stupidity that in North Texas there would be children, seniors, anyone who needs a meal and for whatever reason doesn't have it. I'm not talking about the reason or the cause or your politics. I'm saying, would you join us in feeding the least of these? Not the least of these, the hungry. Feeding someone that needs food. Would you join us in feeding a neighbor that needs a meal and helping a family that's fallen on hard times, that's in a pinch, that's in between jobs, that has dealt with illness, or a senior that is no longer able to take care of themselves? Would you help us provide peanut butter and jelly in plastic jars to the North Texas Food Bank and the Tarrant Area Food Bank? You can do so immediately by sending a few bucks, $20, $50, $100, $1,000, whatever you can do, to by Venmo at PBJ Drive. Just open your Venmo app, shoot what you can to at PBJ Drive. If you send a sizable amount, we'd be happy to give you a shout out. Just put it in the note or memo. If you don't care about the shout out, just know that you're making a huge difference. If you would prefer to get the kids and the family or the office involved and tactily, just touch it, feel it, see the difference, you can run and pick up a bunch of peanut butter and jelly wherever you like to shop and drop it at our Fort Worth office or our Richardson office, and we will gladly get it delivered. If you send money, we will then go buy a bunch of peanut butter and jelly right before our deadline, which is the end of May, and we will get that donated, and we'll take some photos and we'll post it so that you know that you made a big difference. You can find the Venmo stuffs at PBJ Drive on Venmo, at PBJ Drive on Venmo, or other details online at pbjdrive.com.
But wait, there's more, because if you have a copy of our Summer Fun Guide, you can go to page 25
That's a good page.
in the Summer Fun Guide, and there's a QR code right there you can scan. That'll take you directly over to the Venmo page. You can do that. If you don't have the Summer Fun Guide, why don't you get one?
You should have one.
You can get family recipes in there. You can get some really cool...
What kind of family
day
recipes
trips.
are we talking about, Ian?
There's a little bruschetta thing that I like to make for my wife is in there. And then there's a salmon dish in there too. A little light summery meals.
Some people say salmon, Courtney. I don't know if you knew that. I always find it humorous.
How weird people.
Well, some people say tomato. I don't know if you know any of those.
Yep. Very smart people.
Mm-hmm.
Head over to ToddTremoneyTeam.com. You can click on the banner at the very top of the page. You can get a Summer Fun Guide that way, or you can just text us 214-310-0008. Just say Summer Fun Guide, FFG, whatever you want to put. We'll get you a copy, digital or physical. Definitely get the physical one. It's just really nice to touch it.
Hey, Courtney, do you remember that time when we did like a top 10 reasons thing and then I answered it and Ian said that's not on the list? And
Yeah,
then,
pretty recently.
And then you were like, it's literally
number 3.
on the list and number 3 on the list. Yeah. I just didn't know if maybe you'd forgotten that. Hey, folks.
Vision's hard for me right now, guys.
Welcome back. You are listening to DFW Real Estate Weekly, and I am Todd Tremoney, and that is Full Price Courtney, and that is the English wonder himself, the Yanni Donnie, Ian Daniels. Hey, if you want to listen to us, maybe not on Saturdays, 3 to 4, you just head over to wherever you get your podcast. Any place you get your podcast, you turn one of those bad boys on and you just enjoy maybe catching up on the show, the radio show, or maybe bonus material that is never aired live on the radio. And if the podcast, if you just can't get enough, or if you reach the bottom of that barrel, then you go over to YouTube, and I would dare you to try to reach the bottom of that barrel. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of educational videos, some videos where we talk about fun stuff, some videos where we educate you on different communities, on what's happening in the market, homes on land, neighborhood homes, how to buy, how to sell, how to improve your property value, how to protest your property taxes, and all sorts of other things. You can get access to all of that by simply just going to our main website. There's a link or a page or a tab for all those things and way, way more at ToddTremoneyTeam.com. That's ToddTremoneyTeam.com.
First segment is always brought to you by Patrick Gleros and his team at Cardinal Financial. If you are looking to get a mortgage, refinance, if you just got questions, head over to patrickgleros.com. You can actually start an application directly right there on his website, patrickgleros.com, G-L-A-R-O-S, patrickgleros.com. Call him 972-728-3420. NMLS number 308804. And as always, if you need any of the recommended pros and vendors that we talk about, so just go to ToddTremoneyTeam.com, click on the radio tab, and you will find everybody right there. Okay, I want to kick us off and talk about kind of maybe something that's unknown for a lot of people, and it all stems around a singular house outside of Augusta National Golf Club in Augusta, Georgia.
Augustus.
I'm interested.
Been there before. Just saying, humble brag.
Okay.
2011.
I was going to tee you
Practice
up for that.
round. I was right there.
See what I did there? I was going to tee you up for that, but I figured I wouldn't have to.
Nope.
Okay. I'm going to just give you the rounded edges, big broad strokes here because I'm not a tax specialist nor an attorney. But the reality of the situation is there is a home technically right next to, it's
across the street.
It's not like sharing a border, but it's right by Augusta National Golf Club, which is where the Masters is held every year.
Greatest tournament in the world.
Many, many agree that it's the greatest or most desirable or most watched golf tournament. It's probably all those things in the world. Now, all the land around it has basically been bought, acquired, or whatever for either parking or Augusta-related activities or whatever. This family, the owners of this home, have simply just held out and said, no, we are not selling. We like where we live. We're not going anywhere. They've been made very generous offers, and they are not going anywhere. So if you were to look at it on an aerial map, it's kind of humorous. You see Augusta, you see this gorgeous golf course, you see parking areas, and then you see a house right in the middle of the whole situation because everything around them has been developed, and they've said no. Now, why do we care about this? Well, it is kind of used as the example or potentially the cause of a tax code change in the United States a while back that allows for, and people refer to this as the Augusta rule, that allows you to rent out your primary residence for 2 weeks or less, completely tax exempt. So where you live with your family, Courtney, if for some reason, and I'll give you some examples of reasons here in a little bit, if for some reason there was a huge demand, but like for 1 week a year, and you decided we will go someplace else and rent our house out, the money you generate from that rental income, you will not have to pay taxes on that income if it's less than 2 weeks. And this is sort of used as the example or the cause, like this one property, as to why that would be the case. You can imagine if you could rent that house during Masters Week, you'd basically be as close to the course as you possibly be, and you'd be in this very unique situation, right? People will pay a massive premium for that. My brother lived in Austin for a while, and the IndyCar races would come to the racetrack that was somewhat near his home, and he had unbelievable offers for like corporations to rent the house for a week or two and use it as kind of home base to entertain and woo clients and all that kind of stuff. So there are situations when the Super Bowl comes, or
World Cup
would be one that would last a long time, so you might be able to get like the full 2 weeks, where someone might pay you $20,000 for 1 week or more.
Side note, if anybody wants to pay me $20,000 to live in my house in Plano, happy to have a conversation with you. Just reach out to us.
Just email him at nevergonnahappen.biz. But that's what's going on with that. And so there are people that certainly do that at much more normal values and amounts. And then there are, online TikTok social reels that are like, hey, everyone should rent your own house out for meetings and parties and things like that. And that's where it can get manipulative and get into potentially non-compliant tax stuff. So consult your tax professional.
Applies to anybody?
Anyone.
Okay. I have another question.
Cool.
Like, I just went on vacation.
Yes, you did.
And
which is all generally true. You've generally just gone on vacation.
Do I do that
You're
often?
You're a tripper, girl. That's why you got all the best days.
So
that's why we ask you information about where we're going.
And at the beach, I noticed there was like a lot of developments, but then you've got these old 70 houses.
Would you like to take this time to tell everybody where you went? Because it's why people go.
What is it, like a flex?
Yeah.
I went to 30A, Seaside.
It's 40B.
40B.
30A. Don't worry, everyone. She got stickers, so everyone will know. She's got the stickers.
And the T-shirts.
And the T-shirts. Did you ride bikes anywhere?
I wasn't really feeling the bike. I was walking a lot.
You will drive me.
I'd never heard of it before, and then someone says it's where the Truman Show was filmed, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now everybody knows. Okay, back to the question.
Well, just you've got these houses from the 70s that are like holding fast.
So the reason, let me just say with limited information, 30A is unique where they've fought to maintain that Truman Show, small town village kind of vibe.
They developed it.
Which is why people love it. They developed it, but it doesn't look like all the other developments. They've been very deliberate to be like, no, these little bungalow, patio, bikes and clean and doesn't look like 4-story glass, everything. I've actually never technically been there. We've been through basically. But the point is,
it's crowded.
It's not my vibe. Crowded is not my vibe.
Oh, 30A is a highway.
It's my vibe.
But it's that area, right?
And so it's like Seaside, Watercolor, Rosemary Beach, Alice Beach. It's like all the Seagrove.
Ian, just between you and me,
Ian.
the 30A stickers are one thing, but the watercolor thing is a whole other thing.
Ian.
But 30A is a highway.
Ian.
Yeah.
You would love it.
Your question is, it looks incredible. I don't like crowds on vacations. I'm not, I actually do like crowds.
What do you like?
So I refuse to stand in a line unless it's something essential.
Wow.
I'm not too good for it. I'm just like, I'll do without that thing, right? Like, let's get there.
I will send the butler.
Honestly.
Butler.
No, it's not that. It's like I would rather be there early enough or come late. And I'm just willing to miss out.
I love a line.
I don't want anything that bad, really. No.
I do.
I'm not camping out for anything.
Give it all to me.
Best Buy could have, doesn't matter what's in there. I'm not sleeping on
I
the
have
curb.
slept in that parking lot.
I believe you.
Holy cow.
I have
When the
zero
Mavs
doubt.
won the title
many
in 2011, me and Audrey, and she was like 39 weeks pregnant, we were in a line.
Love a line.
Oh my gosh.
Give me
Feels
everything.
so accomplished after.
I like beautiful places. I like a little bit of history, and mostly we travel for food. Now, you can get food a lot of places, so food and beautiful, and now we're talking. And then all the other stuff is like, cool, we'll throw some history in, tour, maybe we'll do a tour. Tremonti's are generally like, man, that is amazing. We've seen it now, so, let's eat. I love history.
Let's eat.
My mom was a history teacher for a long time, so I like history more than I think most of my family. But all that to say,
You're listening to DFW Real Estate Weekly.
yeah, on WBAP. The question was like about the development of it, though. Was that?
Yeah, like what happens to those? Or like, are they still worth a lot?
They're worth way more than they ever were. And that scenario is different because the value is not just in the price per square foot. So this is the long explanation. I'm going to try to do this really fast.
Go quick. I got a lot I want to cram into.
Let's say you're in a highly desirable
This is a good
neighborhood,
segment.
like Highland Park, for example. Let's just take Highland Park. Everybody knows that Highland Park is super desirable for certain people of a certain financial ability, right? If you have a 3,000 square foot house in Highland Park, which there are many, or you had a 23,000 square foot house in Highland Park, most of the time, if the condition of the homes are similar, the 3,000 square foot home is going to have a much higher price per square foot.
Yeah.
Because they each get some value for being in the community.
Right.
And that value is spread over a lot less feet on the smaller house. So sort of that, like, I got myself into Highland Park. Like, I want to be in that school district. I'll buy the cheapest house in the district. I want my kids to go to those schools, not for Highland Park, but for any place. So the smaller homes get a higher price per square foot. There's like a community value that sort of spreads over it. Then there's like, does it have a pool? Does it have a nice fence? Does it have a 3-car garage or 2? Those are value elements. In a place like 30A, it's like just being in that area, being near the beach, near those restaurants, near the shopping, near the golf carts and the bikes and all that stuff is like extreme to the extreme, right? Just like anything on the water is more valuable than off the water, even if it's like half as cool of a house, it's on the water. And then like the nostalgia factor is a whole nother thing. And then like there are places now where tiny houses are like more intriguing than normal houses because it's kind of the experience of being in a tiny house. So those are atypical value areas, if that answers your question at all.
Yeah, I think it does.
Oh, okay, good. What's an assumable mortgage, and how do you do it?
Great question. So let's just say that Ian bought a house 5 years ago and he got a 2.5% interest rate. And now I want to buy it 5 years later. And I called my lender and they said, hey, you're going to be like 7.5%. That's a good rate right now. And I'm like, oh man, that stinks. Is there any way I can get my rate down? And I have a great real estate agent. Let's call him David. And let's just say he works at the Todd and Ian home selling team. And David is like, hey, there's a way I could help you. Ian would like to sell his house. And you're going to have to pay, full price, probably. But you can actually take over Ian's 2.5% mortgage. I can assume his mortgage. Now, I would still have to qualify with the bank that holds that mortgage or the lender or whatever. So I'd have to have the right credit and income and verify all that stuff and apply. And if I qualify, they're like, great. Ian's mortgage is now your mortgage. Ian's off the hook and you're now on the hook. That's your mortgage. Now, let's say Ian bought that house 5 years ago for $400,000. And let's say he borrowed $300,000. Now it's worth $700,000. So I can buy it for $700 and I can assume his mortgage, which was $300 and is now $280.
Wait, but then you get another mortgage?
So I have to figure out how to cover the difference.
Okay.
I could do that with cash,
Interesting.
or I could do that with a mortgage at 7.5%.
That's what people leave out.
Yeah, but listen, follow my. I want to explain the whole thing. So now my blended rate, right? I got 280 borrowed at 2.5, and I got 300 borrowed at 7.5. So my blended rate there is like 4.5 or whatever. And then I put the rest down. So now I could, in my head, say I'm paying about 4.5% interest, which is still
Way
better than 7.5.
Wait, can we make something personal here?
Yeah,
Okay, so I just went through divorce, right?
it's true.
Okay, so we had a mortgage together.
Don't share anything over. Just round some stuff. Just to protect you.
Sure, but like, why couldn't I? He generously agreed to just stay on the mortgage,
Yep.
and I got the house.
Yes.
Why couldn't I just assume the loan and take his name off?
That wouldn't be an assumption. If you qualified from that lender to still borrow at all the same terms,
Yeah.
then in theory you could. But they would not. You would need a new loan to replace the old loan in your situation. They might just say, it's a legal term we're not going to talk about right now, but they might just say, hey, we'll do the thing where we take him off and we still trust you to qualify. But basically you're weakening their position.
Oh.
They're like, I have two people and two incomes. I'm not going to, for free, weaken my ability to be repaid for this. So no. If you want to get a new loan, yeah, you qualify, and the new loan would be 7.65%.
Right.
And you're like, ooh, we don't want to do that, which is why you guys were
We
counseled
stayed.
and
Yeah.
did what you did.
Interesting.
And there's a whole lot of conversation. It's more and more popular in media right now to talk about right and wrong ways for divorces to do this. And we're not going to talk about all that right now.
Sure.
But
I was just curious.
yes,
And-
that worked well for everyone involved in that, the way I understand it.
Yeah.
But oftentimes it doesn't. And one party is typically fighting to get off, but the other party is generally saying, look, I'm not asking you to pay for it anymore, but don't hinder me by doubling my cost, my interest rate kind of thing. So the answer to your question is that's what an assumable mortgage is. It is a mortgage that when it was originally agreed to had written into it the ability for later someone to assume it. Not all mortgages allow for that. So you would need to check with your lender, or if your lender has changed or like your loan servicing company has changed, you could go back and read your mortgage document or have someone help you with that. Or ask your current servicing company, hey, do I have that option? And if so, are there any costs?
Let's play a little game of Stump Todd. This is where I'm going to throw out a topic. I'm going to see if you can stir it up into something real estatey.
Or helpful. Okay, let's go.
Sushi.
Oh, man, like sushi. One of my favorite sushi stories, and this was a total accident. Sushi Rock, technically in Dallas, just west of Coit, near Campbell Road. We had some of our real estate coaching clients in town who are here to learn how to build their business and brand and add value for clients and all those kind of things. And we go to eat at Sushi Rock, and we walk in, and the owner, who's really awesome, local family, goes, hey, are you Todd? And of course, all these clients with me are like, oh gosh, he set this up. And I'm like, hey, yeah, I am Todd. What's your name? And we introduce each other, and he's like, yeah, I watch your YouTube videos. I'm like, no way. This absolutely looks like a setup. But he ended up watching our YouTube videos. And so the cool part there was they had come here to learn how to build a company and a brand and trust in the marketplace, and they watched it happen right in front of them. They watched me walk into a restaurant and somebody know who we were and have a positive feeling because we had added value in their life at no cost. We didn't even know they were out there. He had been watching our YouTube videos for years, learning about buying and selling real estate in the community, and it was a huge opportunity. So there's my tie-in with sushi. If you want a teachable moment with sushi, not everybody likes sushi, but the people that like it really, really like it. They're almost always on a campaign. I might be one of them. Courtney is for sure. And so listen, when it comes to life, love what you love, but leave room for other people to have differences of opinions. For example, when we show property, we don't say, oh, I love this dining room. We'll say, how do you feel about this dining room? Your opinions don't always matter.
I love sushi. I'm a bigger fan of sashimi.
Yeah.
Love the
And
sashimi.
a big fan of making sure people know there's a difference.
There is a difference.
Yeah.
Just give me the raw fish. Skip the rice.
That was for you, Courtney. All right. Listen, goodgaragefloors.com is one of my favorite people right now because we are loving the work they did at our house. The garage floor really is super clean and super sharp, and you might not think that matters, but if you're a garage person, you know exactly what I mean. It looks better than I ever thought it would look, and it's remaining way cleaner than it did before. And then my favorite thing that goodgaragefloors.com did for us is the pickleball court, basketball court setup outside. We've had so much rain lately, and before I had cracks in the concrete that when it rained, it would move and it would break more. But the way they did it, and they sealed it, and they stained different colors and lines into it, so we have all the pickleball boundaries, also protected those cracks from further movement. So it hasn't moved anymore with all this rain. So if you're looking for concrete coating, pickleball court, basketball court, pool deck, patio, or of course, garage floors, check out goodgaragefloors.com and tell them Todd Tremonti sent you.
Republic Title are one of the leaders in the title industry. I'm so thankful and grateful every time we get to work a contract with them. I know it's going to go smoothly. They're not going to have issues. Our sellers, buyers are going to be super protected. They just take such good care and just take incredible diligence in making sure that everything is accurate, correct, legal. RepublicTitle.com is where you can go and you can find out all of the services that they offer. RepublicTitle.com. You can give them a call, 972-423-8777, or just go to toddtremoniteam.com, click on the radio tab, and find all of our recommended pros and vendors there.
Hey, folks, we are winding down our peanut butter and jelly drive, but we are not winding down the need in our local communities for children and families to be fed, right? That is a constant need in our community. However, the month of June tends to be the highest month of demand on the food banks. And so they lose inventory. The amount that they can do drops. So throughout the month of May, we've been letting you and friends and vendors and clients and neighbors know that we've made it very easy for you to make a difference in the community. If you have Venmo, just go to @PBJ and send us $20 or $50 or $100 or whatever you can comfortably do. If you think about and pray about what you're willing and able to do to literally directly feed children in our community. We are going to actually go buy peanut butter and jelly with those dollars and deliver it straight to the food bank. So 100% of those funds will go to feed kids and families in North Texas. We're likely, we always do, to add a bunch of funds to it and deliver hundreds of pounds of food to the local food banks. So if you'd like to just send cash and have us go get it, open up Venmo and send some cash to @PBJ Drive. If you would like to participate in getting the peanut butter and jelly and bringing it to us, you can do that in our Fort Worth office or our Richardson office, and all the information for that is at pbjdrive.com. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate this summer, you need to reach out to us right now. Don't wait. You cannot start that conversation too early. Sadly, most people wait way too late. That's 214-310-0008 or online at toddtremontiteam.com.